In this video, I just wanted to go through quickly some of the replace methods. There's a lot of similar methods that you could use for replacing things, and I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of some of the different possibilities. So first of all, the replace method itself, it can be used actually in two ways. It's what's called an overloaded method. So you can use it either with strings or with single characters. So first I use it with a single character 6, and I replace 6 with just a blank character. So there's actually not too much advantage of why you would do this with a character as opposed to a string. You could just change these single quotes to double quotes, and that it'll treat it as a string and do the same replacement. But if you have the single quotes, it does have to be a single character. So you can see how when I do it this way, it just replaces a 6 with a blank. But if I were to, for example, try to do that, replace 67 with a blank, that's going to throw an error because 67 is not a single character. However, I could just put those in double quotes and replace this. Now, if I change that to a string, I also have to change this to a blank one character string. And if I do that, it's going to replace not just the 6 with a blank, but 67 with a blank. So if we look at that code, you see that 67 has been replaced by a single blank. Of course, I could also do it with a double blank so that it's the same length as the previous, and you can just see the 6 and the 7 are missing. So that's how the replace works. It can use either a character or a string. Now, this is effectively the same as the replace all. The biggest difference with replace all, and this will execute exactly the same, is that it uses something called a regular expression. A regular expression allows you to put in basically a code that tells it exactly what to do. You don't really need to know regular expressions. If you want to, just Google it, regex or regular expression, and you can kind of tell it to like replace everything in a certain range, or there's a lot of different very specific things you can do with it, but I'm not going to ask you to do anything that you can't do with a plain old replace all. So effectively, replace all is just going to do the same thing as a replace does. So there's no real need to know that separately. And the last thing is there's also a replace first. So if you replace the first, as it sounds, it's only going to replace the first time it sees it. So if I do this again, and you'll see that's going to replace my first 67 with a blank, but my second one is still there. So those are some of your options. If you're not using regular expressions and you don't have to, then replace can be used exactly the same way as replace all. So I know that that's a little bit confusing. Replace all does allow for more sophisticated use if you want to get into regular expressions, but you don't need to. It's not really emphasized in this class or the AP class for that matter. But if you ever get into more advanced string or data manipulation, regular expressions are certainly a good thing to know. So that's all. Hopefully that helps. Thank you.